Yo, how's it going? My name is Domomosh. I'm just a big fan of Mecha Break, and I wanted to showcase the new mechanics that Falcon has for this iteration of the beta test. You may have seen the latest video that came out from Mecha Break, or just seen people in the game trying out the new loop-de-loops, the downward spiral, things like that. Loop-de-loops will also apply to Skyraider, but the downward spiral is something exclusive to Falcon, so just keep that in mind for any of you who play the both of them. I will show some examples on screen as I bring up these points for the different things that they have, for the different applications they have. But as for what we're going to be doing today, let me just go ahead and jump right into things. And so we're going to just go ahead and go into training for the moment. I'm going to be speaking in terms of the action, not the buttons, because as you can probably tell, I have a unique setup. If anyone else is having hostess issues, I really recommend looking up the X360 emulator. It's an Xbox 360 controller emulator, and you can just use the default settings and use joystick gremlin, If you're messing with this, you probably know what I'm talking about. I'm going to be covering this in another video as well for how to set this kind of stuff up in the future, so keep an eye out for that. Alright, so for these, of course, you're going to be in your flight form, and whether you're wanting to do the upward loop-de-loop or the downward loop-de-loop is just going to matter whether you're descending or ascending. And what you're going to want to do is hit your dodge button, and whichever one, if you ascend for the upward loop-de-loop, descend for the downward one, as you do the dodge roll while you hold forward. So you have to be holding forward, and then both of them at the same time. Sorry, it's a little finicky sometimes. But as long as you're holding forward and you basically got straight and you hit them at the same time, you should see your character continue to loop-de-loop, and this is so good for melee. In the previous beta test, if you felt like you had the timing for dodging their attacks, but you were still getting punished, try this with the loop-de-loop instead. It is so satisfying. It feels so good, and it's just finding it's what the kit needed. Now, for the downward loop-de-loop, I have to point this out. So I'm gonna go to the skybox so you can see this, right? If you're doing this, you'll continue to do the loop-de-loop in the same way, right? However, if you're super close to the ground, you will do a kind of zippy little, and so this is going to be for both Skyraider and Falcon. This is a amazing addition to their utility. Honestly, it is exactly what they needed. I feel like I don't know what else really could be done. The radar, it feels like it could maybe have a little bit of stuff, but let me go into some tech in a second that is specific to Falcon after I go into the downward spiral. There is stuff that can apply to Skyraider as well with what I'm about to go into, but this specifically is going to be more designated for Falcon because of mechanic that they have with that downward spiral attack. So the downward spiral is basically, you don't have to be holding anything besides descend and be in the air and just hold descend and back on your joystick on or down on your keys. And this will allow you to go and do this downward spiral that you can shoot, you can fire missiles, you can do the whole 9 yards, right? Now, what's crazy though is this is able to animation cancel the loop-de-loop. So, let's say you are trying, you've done the loop-de-loop a couple times, you're expecting someone to maybe be, anticipating it, right? So instead of just doing the loop-de-loop, go for the loop-de-loop, halfway through it, spiral down. This can give you air quickly when you need to be above someone, in addition to just breaking it, throwing people off, because we are people of habit. And patterns is what we get to use to recognizing. It's what we learn to where you're going to be. We don't want to be shooting where you're at. We want to lead shots when it comes to things like this. So to be able to kind of throw that off and deter people from leading your shots by following the same animations, because your loop-de-loop, it's always going to do that same one. Right? But if you animation cancel like this, over here, downward spiral, you can throw people off. And the downward spiral, truly, I was worried I was going to get shot up a lot with it, but it messes people's aim off. I don't think people have gotten used to aiming ahead of where the loop-de-loop is, and if you have the auto lock on, I think it's having trouble keeping up with you. That's just my experience so far. But yeah, this is great. It feels so good. The way that they have reiterated this, or the way that they have executed Falcon now, feels like it's as nimble as it should be. And it feels like it has the toolkit to actually deal with a melee character busting down your ass. Phrasing. A melee character attacking you from behind, all that good stuff, right? I truly think it does so much for it. All right, now, as for the tech that could apply to both of them, I will showcase it first with Falcon, of course, but essentially, while you're doing the loop-de-loops, you are still able to break out of your winged form. You can go back into your biped form, so you can break free of it and just kind of throw off the status quo that is already, I don't even know what the hell I'm trying to say. I'm running off very little sleep. I should be going to bed, but I wanted to record this for y'all real quick so the people could actually have access to like how to do this and how to implement it and what little bits of tech you could use to like, because I want to see players grow. I want to have a good time with these dogfights in the air. Just I want to feel that thrill and that rush. I don't want to just be mowing people down because I know how to do this. And there's been a couple matches where it felt like that. Like I would just go and chase a Falcon and it was clear they didn't know that they had this in their arsenal. So this is kind of a PSA to be like, hey, Falcon players, Skyraiders, our time to rise is now. We have new utility to our kit that makes us a lot scarier and a lot less susceptible to getting I'm being completely genuine. But I digress. Let's go ahead and actually show this off real quick. So while you're doing the loop-de-loop, you can stop halfway through it. If you want to go and do it like this way instead, same thing. You can go and change into your winged form, back to your biped form, etc., etc. Now, if we go ahead and I haven't played any Skyraider this time around. I did do a little bit of training, I did a little practice. So I do know that it, in fact, oh, I didn't even change my thing back yet. But yeah, it does have the ability to do it. The only thing I'd say is it feels like it's as nimble as Falcons. I'd say maybe make Falcons ever so slightly faster in execution. Maybe that's just like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But yeah, that's the only thing I would say, like, if I was going to change anything. This feels like it does it at the same time. But as you just saw, if you feel like your loop-de-loop is going to get predictable, you can throw people off by swapping midway through your loop-de-loop, or even like a quarter of the way through. Again, you can't do this with the downward spiral on Skyraider, but on Falcon, it is me. You can just sit on someone and mess them up. It is so good. The downward spiral is a perfect addition to Falcon's kit. The loop-de-loop, I think, is wonderful for, like, I mean, that makes sense. These are things that planes do in your life. But yeah, overall, just wanted to get that out there. I really hope this helps anyone who may have been struggling to figure out just how to do it. If you are still struggling to get this to come out consistently, so what's probably happening is your inputs with your dodge and your ascend or your descent are not happening at the same time. That is going to be the only thing I really could see people struggling with, is just hitting ascend and dodge or descend and dodge at the same time as they're doing this. Because once you start pushing forward, even if you're like going left or right, like, I mean, you can see clearly how much input I'm giving to each direction, you will still pull this off. So yeah, outside of that, I will be trying to get the demonstration for how to get this set up for how I set up my setup, how to establish, anyways, how to get joysticks and pedals to work for Mecha Break, as well as any other game that doesn't have it natively available for it. But thank you so much for checking this out. I really hope everyone's enjoying the beta. I have been waiting in anticipation for this just for a while. Like, I have been looking forward to this more than most things. Like, this and Monster Hunter Wilds are pretty up there. They're pretty close. Like, I'm gonna be genuine. But anywho, y'all have a wonderful time for real. This time, actually heading out.